You're listening to Tales of the Forsaken, a live play fate core game by Noble Jester Productions. Welcome to Rillion, a western fantasy world where magic needs fuel, and that fuel is mined and refined into Ecton, a place of vast deserts, dark rituals, and greedy mining companies. A dwarf awakens and has forgotten who he is. Who is Verboden, and how will he seek to remember his past in the midst of this harsh world?
Okay. We're back for the start of the fourth and final arc of Season 1.
Dang, man.
Alright, so we are not going to take a time skip this time. Mm-hmm. This battle in Twin Rivers just finished. I'm assuming, at least a couple hours have passed where people have kind of collected themselves. The town has come out of their homes and their basements a little bit. And, these mages have collected in that warehouse and are, organizing to take all of this Ecton that's been stored here back. The kind of rumor mill has started, and this talk of this huge battle that Yendra had with this devil underneath the town of Twin Rivers has started to pass around, that together they battled each other, and it sounds like Portal Guardian actually did die. They then battled together against this kind of onrush of demons through this portal, and then they were able to, through kind of a combined effort to stop the flow of the demons, Yendra brought the Portal Guardian back to life, and then was able to, in kind of the final moments with the Spirited Mind's help, was able to contain and capture Asmodean.
Wow.
All of this kind of celebrated from everyone, and you're probably the only person who would maybe feel like that may not have been the best result, mm-hmm. But everybody's kind of celebrating at what a victory this was for the Rough Riders, for Twin Rivers, for Yendra, and for the New Frontier. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to hang out a little longer? Do you want to gather your people and head back to Silver Ridge? What's your plan?
I think kind of the couple immediate goals I would have first would be I want to check in, see what our losses were like for the Rough Riders, who took casualties from what areas. Are there any representatives of the Spirited Mind still around?
You could go find one. You've talked to a few that maybe you could try to find. Roland had that dwarf Gart that he was talking to and was a part of his councils that maybe you could talk to if you had a question, or you could go to that warehouse and talk to them. They're there. Yeah,
what I think I would try to do, I don't know if you want to play it out, essentially I would want to go over and essentially try to get them to commit to help the people of Twin Rivers a little bit. They've obviously been under the thumb of the Shunt Mining Company and oppressed here, yet there's this incredible wealth of this Ecton that the Spirit Mind is now just lifting out of here. So I think I would try to convince them to bring some financial aid and support for helping Twin Rivers rebuild.
You're going to get completely stonewalled if you try to do that. So unless you want to take it, unless you have a plan other than talking,
right?
We probably don't even need to bother, because you're just going to get stonewalled.
Not talking to the right people and all that.
Yeah. They have zero interest in talking to you about that.
Okay. Yeah, so then that would just be my plan. Then just checking in, seeing what our losses were like. After that, pretty much just gathering up. I'll invite the rest of the Rough Riders from other areas if they want to come back to Silver Ridge and stay there, depending on how far the journey is back to their own place. But essentially kind of collect and head back.
Okay. Yeah. Not actually super intense losses.
Okay.
it was a pretty incredible success for the Rough Riders. It was definitely a testament to the training and the toughness of these sheriffs and deputies and people that have been training and trying to create this organization of the Rough Riders. Maybe 10-11% losses. No one from Silver Ridge died.
Okay. That's great.
Jasper obviously is injured, but you saved him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a very well done operation, a great success, and pretty much everybody is ready to head back to their towns. You could talk to Roland or somebody if you wanted to as a goodbye, but pretty much everybody's ready to head back to their own individual towns.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then it would just congratulate everyone and say the goodbyes.
Okay, so you do all that and you gather your people and you guys head back to Silver Ridge.
Okay.
So it takes a couple of days. You don't travel super fast because Jasper's still pretty weak, but you eventually make your way back to Silver Ridge and you kind of come over a hill and you can see the town laid out in front of you, and you're riding back into the town and things start to ping your attention. You don't see people.
Dang it.
There's nobody in the streets. Nobody's coming out to greet you. As you start to ride into the town itself, you hear kind of the swinging, the creaking and banging of a door that's been left open, just kind of swinging back and forth. You ride into this town and there is no one.
Does this remind me of like when Jarl and I rolled up into that town when we were heading to Acton Falls? Is that same sort of feel?
It does have a very similar feel, except that town, there was no life whatsoever, and there are animals still. You can see some chickens that are, kind of moving around in a fenced-in yard. You can see over by the stables there's some horses and some mules, and there's animals and life still around. That place was completely eerily empty of life.
Got it. Okay. We'll keep riding up into town and kind of roll up into the square and kind of survey.
Yeah, you ride into the square. Everybody's pretty alarmed at this point. People start kind of moving into the buildings and houses, and they don't find anybody. After a few minutes, I don't know if you go into your office or not, but if you don't, then someone would call you in there, and there's a letter sitting on your desk.
Okay. Then I would pick up the letter and have a seat and read it.
Okay. It is from Jarl.
So I pick up the letter. Sheriff, I never wanted it to come to this, but the New Frontier needs someone willing to do what none of you will. I assume I'm just kind of reading this out to whoever's in the office with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt the innocents of Silver Ridge, but I will if I have to. Their fate is up to you. I will trade you their lives for the chalice you carry. It's the only way. Bring it to the cave, or you let Mother die. Come alone, or I will kill them all. They're all distant. Kind of sit back and hold the letter out to the side, just drop it on the ground, and put my hand up to my head, and just let out a deep, deep sigh. Damn it, Jarl.
You're not going to go alone. Jasper pulls out a gun. He says, "He has Tilda. He has my family. We need to kill him."
I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case, but you might be right there, Jasper. How you feeling, though, man? It wasn't that long ago where you had a big old axe sticking out of your chest.
Yeah, so I need to pay him back for that.
Oh, man, but let me think on this a little bit, but I'm leaning your way.
Well, you do whatever thinking you need to do. You are the sheriff, and I respect your planning. You've done a good job, but we gotta get my family back, and I'm sure everybody here feels the same way.
No, I agree, and that's gotta be the goal, is to get him back. know Jarl, and based on what he did to you and how he just lied to me, I can't trust him anymore, and I don't want any more losses.
Jasper picks up the letter and he kind of scans it and reads it to himself again. You really think he killed them? He grew up here.
Yeah, I mean, you grew up with him, and look what he did to you.
It was like he was a completely different person. I mean, we played together as boys.
I don't know what to say, man. He's shown a proclivity to violence, and I hoped I'd smooth out the rough edges, but I don't think I was successful on that one.
I don't want him to kill Tilda, or anybody for that matter, but think he'll give him back if you give him this chalice?
That I don't know. I mean, I saw him back there in Twin Rivers before I came to you, and well, I let him convince me that he was gonna betray Dagamar and take care of that Ectodrill, and man, you took an axe because of me being a fool.
Sheriff, I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do here is.
Alright, well, let's make sure there's no other surprises here in town, and give me a couple minutes to think on things, and I'll meet up with you back at your place.
Alright, let me I'll get everybody to finish searching the town and make sure that we're, like you said, there's no more surprises, and then I'll get everybody ready, and we'll be ready to head out with you.
Alright, I appreciate it, Jasper.
So he walks out, goes to gather people, and, they're kind of searching through the buildings and looking for anything.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do.
Did you send him away because you're going to sneak out, or?
I was considering that. Yeah, I don't think I want to have Jasper or anybody else come. I think the second Jarl sees other people, he's gonna lose it. Yeah, I'm gonna sneak out and try to ride there as quickly as possible and not let people see me.
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna have you make a roll for that. I mean, your office has a back door.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could sneak out pretty easily, and they're all pretty distracted. Jasper he trusts you. He didn't think you were trying to trick him or anything.
Yeah.
So, so you ride out, and I assume you know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Head to that stupid cave.
Yep. So you make your way toward the ridge, and it takes you, again, it's about a 15-minute ride away, and you kind of stop at the base of the ridge, and you can see the cave up above you. It's going to take some climbing to get up there.
Yeah, I'll climb up there.
Okay. You climb up and start to make your way into the cave.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You walk down this dark passageway into the cave, and you get to this spot where it opens up, and you can see that there's light in there, and you can see Jarl standing there along with a human man, an older human man that you've seen before, that older mage, Hestian.
Oh, Hestian? Dang it.
And there are several other dwarves in the cave with them. They're all wearing masks. You've seen several very similar to them that you were just fighting in Twin Rivers.
Do I see any of the people of Silver Ridge in there?
You do not. So I don't know if you have moved into that area, or if you're kind of staying back in the darkness at this point.
I'm going to stay back in the darkness at this point. I'm going to call out to Jarl. You win, man. Got your chalice, and give me the people of Silver Ridge.
That is the plan. That's the deal. Bring it in.
How do I know they're all okay?
Guess you don't. You'll just have to trust me.
No, we're past that, man. I assume you're giving the chalice to old buddy there.
Eventually.
I ever lied to you, Jarl?
I don't know. Does it matter at this point?
Get the people back to Silver Ridge, and I'll give you the chalice. I'm not giving it to you first.
I want you to make a roll of some kind for this. I want to see probably influence, something like that. I'd like to see how convincing you are in this moment.
Okay. That is a 0 total.
Verboden, I know who you are. I know that you would sacrifice yourself for these people. You have proven yourself to be a hero. That's not who I am. But I need that chalice, and I do not trust that you will give it to me without this leverage.
This cave sucks, man.
It does.
Why'd you have to come here?
It seemed fitting.
You know what's fitting? You making a mistake. I didn't kill your mother, Jarl.
I did that.
You did.
But you did not stop it.
I couldn't.
Can't stop this either.
Yeah. I'm figuring that out. Well, seems we're at a bit of an impasse. That rings a bell.
I will send everyone else away. They'll go get the people. Bring them up to the top of the ridge. You hand me the chalice, we walk away. You don't, we push them off.
Alright. If I get an inkling of a hint that you're gonna hurt anybody, I walk.
I don't want to hurt these people. My purpose is greater than them now.
I see. I'll get to it.
He turns and Hestian nods and they kind of, say something up. There's that hole in the ceiling and a ladder drops. And the dwarves climb up it and then Hestian climbs up it.
Once they've all left except for Jarl, I'll step out of the darkness into the cave.
Okay.
I just stare at him, just staring daggers at him.
A few minutes pass and then Hestian climbs back down and nods. Okay, you're up there. You wish to see?
I do, after you.
Alright. They both climb up the ladder.
I'll follow and once I get towards the top of the ladder, kind of peek out to make sure nobody's up there looking like they're gonna jump me, then I'll exit.
Yeah, I mean, he and Hestian are standing maybe 8 feet away, but they don't look like they're gonna jump you.
Okay. Yeah, so I come up out of there.
Okay. You can see the people of Silver Ridge, the innocents, the women, the children, they're kind of lined up against the edge of the ridge, and these dwarves are kind of scattered along. Obviously, it would take them a little while to push everyone over, because there's only 4 of them and quite a few more people. They're there.
Okay. Walk up and reach into my pack slowly and pull up the chalice. Kind of hesitate for a moment as I'm looking at him and set it on the ground and step back.
Okay. Jarl reaches down, picks it up. You can see Hestian is like, his eyes grow eager, and it looks like he's having to hold himself back from reaching down and taking this. And Jarl looks over at him and says, "You will wait. I'll give it to you when I'm ready." Puts it kind of inside of his jacket. He says, "Odin, wish it had not come to this, but we have to make them pay."
Make who pay, man?
You think all of this that we have gone through, I know who is really at fault. People back in their comfortable lives in their 4 nations, they send out all of the trash. They give us demons and they send us out here to die, to work for them. All for acting. They have to pay.
Yeah, those people like Jasper, you had to pay too?
He stood in my way.
You're a fool, man. And you're gonna fail.
Perhaps. But it's better to try.
I'm sorry I failed you.
You did not fail me. You failed my mother. You failed the other people that died. I'm still alive, and I will take my revenge after all of this.
You got the chalice, so let him go.
He nods, and he waves his people off. They step back. He says, "All right, we are leaving. Don't try anything."
I'm just getting these people home, man.
They gather together and get up on horses and ride off. All of the innocent people, the women and the children, Tilda, all of these people kind of gather around you, and there's children, a couple of babies, and they're all some older people. They're all gathered around you, and anything you want to say or do, or just kind of help them back to town?
Yeah, I was looking at them all, and all right, everybody, it's gonna be okay. Everybody's waiting back in town, and hey, Tilda, we got Jasper. He's getting things ready back at the place for you, and let's head on back. Unfortunately, I don't have any horses, but we'll get you all back safe.
All right. Yeah, so you get everybody back to Silver Ridge safely. There's tearful reunions, and they're all back in town.
I'll head back over to my office and home and just kick off my shoes and pour a drink and just sit back and just reliving the conversation with Jarl and just the frustration of that.
Okay. Yeah, you have that happen. It's night. It's pretty late. Everybody kind of eventually goes to bed, and yeah, what do you want to do?
After everybody's settled a little bit, I do want to go and check in with some of our trained people that would be rough riders and set up a watch throughout the evening just to make sure that nobody tries anything at night.
Yeah, they have no problem with that. There are people that are watching already, kind of as you do that. They're not going to have this happen again for a third time.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
As they seem to be ready and capable and able to take care of things and watch.
Okay. So once everything's settled, then I would try to get some sleep.
All right. You eventually go to sleep, and you dream. You find yourself standing in kind of the back of a saloon. You can see there's a table in the center, and there are people kind of gathered around this table. And you see several figures at the table. One of them catches your eye, this gnome. And you just have this sense, once again, each time you've had this sense that this is you. And you see yourself, this gnome kind of making jokes and playing cards, and all of these figures at the table have cards, and they're all playing, and money's being passed around, and you just watch for several minutes as this game continues until this large pot starts to gather in the middle. You can see that this hand is a big one. People are pushing money into the center, and eventually somebody puts this chalice in the center of the table. See, it's the chalice you've grown familiar with. It's got jewels and draconic imagery engraved all over it, and you can see kind of the tension builds at this table, and everybody goes all in. You see yourself, you win, and you start to gather in all these winnings, and somebody flips the table, and gunfire erupts. Fighting is all over, and you see a older human man that you recognize, Hestian. He kind of sneaks in from the crowd and grabs the chalice and runs. And your vision kind of blacks out. And then it comes back, and you see yourself. You see you're a human man, and you're standing up on top of a cliff looking down on a field of corpses, these animated corpses, these zombies that are kind of moving in this massive horde toward this small town. You can see people at this, kind of at the outskirts of this town trying to desperately put up wooden structures, trying to put up fences, things, trying to protect themselves. And you see yourself hang your head and then pull this chalice out of your pack and set it down at your feet. Carve some runes into the ground around this chalice. You can see yourself cast a spell, and this wash of energy pours out of the chalice down the cliff and over this field, and you can see all of these zombies lose their animation, and this horde of undead falls down and becomes dead. And you can see, you look down at, that figure looks down at its feet, and a rift opens up. This chalice is, a hand reaches up and pulls the chalice down, and it closes. Your vision kind of goes black, and you see image after image, scene after scene of your previous lives, of this chalice. You get the chalice, you find it, and it slips out of your grasp. You either sacrifice it for some greater good, or it is stolen from you. And it just happens time after time after time. And then you wake up.
And now, listeners, here's something a little bit different. Asmodean sits on a endless field of grass. The sky above him is just featureless gray. He just sits staring at his sword, which has been stabbed into the ground a few feet in front of him, about halfway into the ground. He just looks kind of despondent as he looks at his sword and says, "Well, here we are."
Way to get us here.
Well, it's not like I chose this.
You made all the decisions to get us here, though.
We made those decisions together, I thought.
Oh, I see how it is. Yeah, okay. No, sounds good. Sounds nice to go blow off some steam at that. What was that casino in the house? Flicker? Place is great. I'd be ashamed, though, if you never got to visit it again.
Well, yes, that would be a shame, but these were the choices we made when we decided to go back to Rillian and set ourselves on the course of closing these portals.
Well, what now, then? Just gonna sit here for forever?
I don't know. We've looked around. This is endless. I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
Positive note, your path here? Well, it'll prevent you from being poisoned, stabbed in the back again.
Yes, I suppose that's true.
You're pathetic.
Okay, I think that is a bit much. I've succeeded at closing the portals, except the final one. But at least that one should remain safe, I hope.
Yeah, just like you, getting close and failing at the end.
Asmodean kind of... You can tell that one hurt. His face kind of crumbles a little bit, and then he sits up straight and... Well, we've always done what we could, but she seems to block us at every turn.
Always about her. You're just so obsessed. You know what who's not here? Yendra. She's not here. Maybe she's stronger than you. Just add her to the list of other people that are stronger. There's, let's see, there's Rembrandt, there's Auric, Hod. Oh, of course Yendra too.
Well, You're not trapped here with any of them, are you?
No, you got us here. That path, that plan you talked about. Good job.
It would have worked.
Maybe if you spent a little more time in the hells, maybe you'd have been stronger.
There was nothing left for us there. We killed a demon lord. Come on. We accomplished what we needed to accomplish.
That worked out pretty well. I would say that was probably one of your less awful moments.
Rillian needed our help.
Help? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I need your help, and your choices got us here. And I'm not feeling like I'm getting the help that I need.
What would you have of me? We're trapped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what's going to happen is I'm going to need to be fed. So, I mean, maybe what your future looks like is I'll just keep sucking away bits and pieces of you till you're probably not much more than a floating head with little pathetic horns.
After all we've done together, after all of the great things we've accomplished, it's come to this. You're just going to bite at me and claw at me for eternity?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't really know what else you would expect of me in here. I mean, result of your incompetence.
We were so close to closing the portal, until she showed up.
I have a feeling we're gonna hear about her a whole lot, aren't we?
She's important. She's always been important.
I don't know what my life would have been like if I was with her.
I don't think you would have gotten to kill anywhere near as many souls as I've given you the opportunity to. Now we're stuck. With only each other to talk to, so we may as well try to get along.
Keep talking about how you're so close, and let's hear your story. You know, let's pick apart where it fell apart.
I know where it fell apart, but sure, I'll play your game. We went into Twin Rivers, we found our way down into the chamber with the portal, and there was the Guardian. I was able to convince the Guardian that I was not a threat to them. I entered through the portal, back into the abyss, and, well, you were there. We killed a lot of demons. There was only one left. The one that was on their side, holding open the portal. Then Yindra showed up. She pulled me back through, attacked me. We fought, and in the chaos, one of us struck down the Guardian. If I'm honest, I don't know which one of us it was. But unfortunately, with the Guardian dead, the portal was flung wide open and demons poured through. I, of course, turned to try to hold them off, and she and I, we fought side by side for the first time in centuries. We contained them. We managed to work together and rebirth the Guardian. But in that moment, she struck at my back.
Just didn't learn from the first time, huh?
No, I suppose I didn't. Somehow she had convinced some of the Spirited Mind mages to work alongside of her, and when she struck, they cast us into this prison, this plane of non-existence. So tell me, what would you have done?